Hello and welcome TechEd 2023 to our virtual session, Learn how Fusion Development fosters sustainability at BMW. My name is Marc. I'm Product Manager at SAP for SAP Build, and today I have the pleasure to talk with Clara Laurent from BMW Group about their inspiring story, how they were rapidly responding to critical sustainability needs. You will learn about the crucial role that low-code enterprise application development had in the success of the company's venture by unlocking new levels of efficiency and productivity. But before, let me start with a quick overview about the services that were used during BMW's journey. The foundation of the whole story is SAP Business Technology Platform, in short, BTP. The SAP BTP is a unified and open platform that combines several capabilities on the business-centric public cloud platform. It is also the foundation of the intelligent, sustainable enterprise. BTP helps to create personalized experience that instantly work with SAP applications. With SAP BTP, you can build faster with business context to meet change and agility. And you can do that with the confidence on a trusted enterprise-grade platform. It mainly consists of the pillars application development, automation, integration, data analytics, and of course of AI. But now let's deep dive a bit on the first area, the application development. On SAP BTP, we offer a variety of developer tools for all the different personas. SAP Build for citizen developers, SAP Build Code for the professional developers, and the SAP BTP ABAP environment, of course, for our ABAP developers. SAP increases the attractiveness of BTP code-first solutions by simplifying the developer experience and commercial model. SAP BTP provides key services to developers along with the option to use generative AI to build full-stack applications along with clear developer guidance on implementation best practices. Therefore, customers can keep their core clean and build side-by-side extensions with ABAP and SAP Build compatibility. SAP equips customers to drive innovation and create a competitive advantage through Fusion development and ease of app composability across SAP's low-code and code-first solutions. And also in BMW's use case, you will see a combination of professional developers working with our code-first solution and citizen developer with SAP Build, creating a combined solution of both worlds. The main focus of BMW was on the low-code development with SAP Build. Therefore, let's have a closer look at it. The SAP Build portfolio combines our low-code solution, which enables users of all skill levels to easily create and augment business applications. The unified low-code solution portfolio empowers users to create applications, automate processes, and design engaging business sites with drag-and-drop simplicity. Professional developers and also citizen developers can really build visually without writing code and leveraging all the libraries of pre-built business content. It integrates smoothly with SAP and non-SAP system, and you can collaborate effectively, bringing together business and developers to work in Fusion teams. SAP Build contains 3 services. SAP Build Apps to create pixel-perfect web and native mobile applications without writing a line of code. You can build standalone or SAP app extensions. We offer extensive UI components, theming and layouting functionalities. And also the logic can be built completely visually. The next part is SAP Build Process Automation. It enables everyone to automate workflow processes and tasks without writing code. Users can create forms, manage decision logic, and build, adapt, and organize all their process flows with drag-and-drop simplicity. They can automate repetitive manual tasks such as copy and paste operations, data extraction, data creation, using the low-code capabilities or the built-in automation recorder. And built-in AI capabilities enable intelligent document processing, like extraction data from unstructured or structured documents to transfer to your enterprise system for processing. The last service of SAP Build is SAP Build Workzone. It is the central access to SAP and custom build apps and extensions as well as third-party systems. It offers personalized, role-based user experience with search, tasks, notifications, and more. It is engaging a digital workplace and employee portal experience, blending business data with unstructured information. And also business users can create their own information sharing and enablement with self-services. But now let me hand over to Clara, who will give you an overview how BMW is responding to their critical sustainability needs with SAP Build.
Hello, I'm Clara Laurent. I am an SAP solution architect at the BMW Group, and today I will tell you about our experience with SAP Build. In the next minutes, I will let you know about the reason why we wanted to have a closer look at SAP Sustainability Control Tower and why we wanted to combine it with SAP Build. I will present the scope of our POC and let you know about our findings. So let's start with the reason why we wanted to have a closer look at the SAP Sustainability Control Tower and how it led us to SAP Build. Since 2020, the BMW Group is publishing an integrated group report, meaning that ESG reporting and other non-financial KPIs are integrated into the BMW Group report. However, the process of non-financial reporting is different from the process of financial reporting. The process of publishing non-financial KPIs already existed before 2020. But with the step of being included into one integrated report, we wanted to get it closer to the financial process and to increase its digitalization. Therefore, we examined software solutions for ESG reporting that would meet our requirements and fit into our financial reporting. We then had a closer look at the SAP Sustainability Control Tower. For us, it was important that the tool does not only deal with CO2 emissions, but that it has a broader coverage of ESG topics, environmental, social, and governance, and that it also allows us to create our own KPIs. A major difference from financial reporting and non-financial reporting is that in non-financial reporting, KPIs come from a lot of different departments. The KPIs are delivered by departments such as HR, purchasing, production, and development. So basically, they come from all over the company. We also knew that we wouldn't be able to get all KPIs from per interface, so we needed a manual input. And we wanted to create our own input screens and validate the data via workflow. That is where SAP Build came into discussion. So we wanted to do a POC with a combination of both tools, SAP SCT and SAP Build. The idea was to use SAP Build to implement a data collection app. So we wanted to set up screens for the manual input to make it the easiest possible for business, and also to have the input data validated in an approval workflow. So we used Build App, one component of SAP Build, to build our data collection app, and Process Automation, another component of SAP Build, to set up the approval workflow. In the data collection app, we directly use structures of the SCT, such as organizational structure and KPI data model, so that we didn't have to duplicate them. We could use them directly via interface. And after collecting the data in this new app, we wanted to hand it over to SCT to be able to work with the data there and go on with KPI management and deep dives into the data. So let me now come to the result of our POC with SAP Build. The activation of the tool on BTP was quite easy. It didn't take long for our BTP experts to get the tool running. And it was also easy for us as a project team to make first steps in the tool and to get an impression of it. The tool is rather intuitive, and we could easily start building screens, dropping in fields and buttons, and starting to implement easy logics. But we also soon noticed that the tool has a lot more possibilities and that for understanding all those possibilities, we would need an expert. So SAP experts supported us in understanding how we could efficiently use SAP Build to implement what we had planned. They helped us to design and to build the foundation of our app. We also soon noticed that we would need someone with programming skills in the team. For someone with no programming skills, it is possible to do some easy things, to work on the layout, to work on the screens. But to implement more complex logics, you need someone who has programming experience. Even if you don't need much real programming, you still need someone who is able to put together all the elements so that you can build the complex things. So we didn't face any showstoppers while building the app, because if the available elements weren't enough, we could do some little coding to implement what we needed. But for most of it, we actually just used all the elements that were already available. Another advantage that we see in SAP Build is that we could work together with the SAP SCT as a backend system. So we had a good integration and could use the structures and the organizational data, for example, from SCT. We didn't have to duplicate them, so we could directly use them via interface in our new app. It was also good that the business departments and our IT departments and programming people could work together like a real team, because it was so easy to see the result of what you did by using the preview. In the preview, you could directly see what you were implementing, and you could work together with all team members, those with programming skills and those without programming skills. And as I said, even those without programming skills were able to implement part of the app. So as a conclusion, I would say that I was really happy to work with the app. I enjoyed it. And I am also very happy that we managed to implement everything that we wanted so quickly. So it was really a good experience.
Sounds like a real HI project and maybe a new way of doing requirement management. Thank you, Clara, for the amazing introduction into your use case at BMW. And of course, now I'm really interested to get some more details of the project. Maybe can you explain a bit how you did get started with SAP Build?
Yes. So actually to activate the app and to get started was quite easy, because we used the free version and it was easy for our BTP administrators to get it activated. So from the point that we took the decision of making a POC, it really didn't take long for us to make the first steps in the tool. So I could then, when it was activated, go in and start building screens, starting making first experience with the tool, and using all the drag and drop functions, dropping in fields and buttons, and trying to implement small logics in the tool. But I also soon noticed that with my skills, it wouldn't be enough, and that the tool could do a lot more, because you have so many possibilities of customizing each element, actually, that we wanted to get some support from SAP to show us all those possibilities and how to use them. And also we noticed that we would need someone with programming experience, programming skills, because even if it's a low-code, no-code element, you need to think like a programmer to actually really be able to use all those elements and put them together and implement the more complex things.
Yeah, that's always the problem that we have, that you really can create pixel-perfect applications. You can adjust everything, but it can get complex. But I promise we are working on it to make it even more simpler. Maybe you can share a bit with us of the skill set that your project team had.
So at the very beginning, it was a very small project team. Basically, it was just a business colleague and myself. So the business colleague had all the requirements and the business knowledge about what we needed to implement. And myself, I have the background of implementing SAP standard solutions. So I was able to do customizing, but I didn't have any programming skills. So with my business colleague, we were able to build first screens, to have the fields in there, to have some easy logics like going from one page to the other or saving some data. that was easy. But then this wasn't enough. So we needed really to get someone with programming skills, and we were looking for someone to join the team with programming skills to actually be able to implement the more complex logics that we needed. And also I thought that it would be a good idea to actually involve SAP with some SAP Build experience, because as the tool has so many possibilities, you need someone who knows how to use those possibilities or to explain them to you. So I think it's not enough to have just one day of explanation or 1 day of training. It's really getting into all those details that you can do with the tool, because only then you can really use it efficiently.
Yep, but it's a perfect example to show that professional developers can work together with citizen developers. You also said that the business people were also directly involved in the project. So how was the collaboration with the business department?
Yeah, the collaboration was really good. And I think this was a good thing that we could really interactively work with the tool, because everything that we were doing, you could directly see the result of it in the preview. So when we were implementing things, we could at the same time start testing them, showing them to business to see if it really meets the requirements. And we were also able to involve business even in the implementation itself. So business could, for example, work on the layout or on the names of the fields or the fields that we needed. So we actually all worked together in implementing the app, and we also interactively used this preview function so that we could go from the rough requirements into more detailed requirements and see if it is what business expected, and also implement some changes and really interactively build all what we needed.
Sounds like a real agile project and maybe a new way of doing requirement management. Did you face any challenges or blockers during the project?
So everything we wanted to implement, we were able to implement it. Most of it worked with the available elements, and for some little things that we didn't find the right elements to do it, we could always go on with some real coding. So putting little bits of coding into the app, so that we didn't have any showstoppers of really being able to implement all requirements. What did stop us a little bit at some point is that, as I said, we started as a little team from business and IT, but without programming skills. And that's where I must say, even if it's a low-code, no-code tool, if you want to do more complex logics, it's really good to have someone with programming skills on board from the beginning on.
I can confirm it requires technical understanding. You need to know what variables are, how you bind data, and all these things. That can get quite technical. Do you think SAP Build will get another chance in another project at BMW?
Actually, yes. And I think even the use case that we had, this using an SAP system as a backend system and building own screens on top of it for this data collection process, is something that we already got a request, because we sometimes have data coming in from all over the world, from some local solutions also where we need to collect data manually. And I think this is a really easy way of implementing something like that, and also with the approval workflow. So this working together of Build Apps and Process Automation also helps a lot. So yeah, we got requests, and let's see if it goes into project.
Thank you very much for all the insights that you have provided us. For all of our session participants who wants to dive deeper in the low-code, no-code topic, here are some great learning offerings to complement your conference. You can prepare for a certification with free SAP learning journeys. Save with an exclusive SAP TechEd certification offer that came in your SAP TechEd registration email. Connect with experts, expand your network, and share your knowledge and experiences with others in the SAP community. And network in the moderated SAP learning groups to get your learning questions answered. You can find all the great learning content at learningsap.com/TechEd. Clara, Thank you again very much for sharing your inspiring story about SAP Build and sustainability with us. Thank you all for listening into this session, and we wish you a good time at TechEd.